But the YouTube ad boycott is still ongoing, and since it is ongoing, Google has now introduced some changes to their platform to try to placate some of the advertisers. Now, I've got a couple of those changes that are rolling out. Now, TechCrunch is reporting that YouTube is now taking measures to help ensure user-generated content doesn't end up positioning ads by big brands next to quote-unquote questionable content. Okay. Now, the social network, that's what they call it, will not allow ads on channels that have fewer than 10,000 views total across older posted videos. YouTube told the Wall Street Journal that the measure has been in development since November, and that it wasn't originally intended to block channels which steal content from other sources from deriving revenue from that platform. Now, they think that this is actually going to help ads not appear next to hateful content as well. Now, as far as this goes, I don't think it's going to impact a lot of channels, but it might actually impact some of the channels that do put these racist, homophobic videos up. Because, look, those channels usually have less than 1,000 subscribers. They're very, very small. They don't get a lot of views. For example, it's like an Aryan hate rally or something like that. You think a lot of people are going to watch that? No, very few, very, very small amount of people are going to watch that. So that might actually stop them from making money. Okay, this is not a bad change. Okay, not a bad change at all. It doesn't really affect me. Anywhere on every day on this channel, we get anywhere from 50 to 100,000 views on a daily basis. In fact, we just hit 11 million views on this channel. So most of us, we're not going to be affected by that. The news channels, we're not going to be affected. So, okay. Now, it will impact some legit smaller channels. So that might be a little bit of a problem for those who are trying to build. But then again, these channels, look, 10,000 views doesn't make you a lot of money. I thought, oh my God, 10,000 views. It might make you like a couple of bucks. Like maybe $2. Not very much. Okay. So, again, nobody who's doing this full time, nobody who's actually doing news and politics, for example, has less than 10,000 views on their channel. So, and they're not going to be able to do it while getting less than 10,000 views on their channel. So that's the first change. Again, no issue with that. The next change is a little problematic because then this has to do with policing the actual content of the videos. Marketing Dive explains. Google is now working with the measurement company Comscore to provide YouTube advertisers with independent brand safety reporting per a Comscore press release. Comscore is essentially leveraging proprietary technology to continuously monitor patterns within text content to identify the brand safety of given ad context. The technology can be applied in general and for specific campaigns across mobile and desktop platforms. Group M, they explain, has been one agency out in front of the issue publicly between commissioning video analytics firm OpenSlate to gauge where clients' ads should be run ahead of time to discussing with Google the possibility of reducing ad rates on enhanced targeting in order to restrict ads to safer channels. Okay, so that's a lot of obviously industry stuff, but basically what they're doing is that they're looking at enhanced targeting. So they're looking into these channels and they're doing software that basically looks at the text of what you're talking about. So they're essentially going to police your content. And if that content is unsafe, according to them, well, then you're not going to get monetized. You're going to get demonetized. Well, what's considered a safe channel? Well, from what I know of the business, advertisers are incredibly conservative. And by conservative, I mean they don't want to offend anybody. Okay? They want like Mickey Mouse and fucking Nick Jr. Okay? So, well, as far as that goes, there goes 100% of political content. Except for maybe the bigger channels. Now, safe channels essentially are cat videos, music, makeup tutorials, stuff like that. Stuff that's not going to offend anybody. News, of course, obviously deals with a lot of controversial topics. Now, I have a big feeling that news and politics especially, these are no longer going to be considered safe. And so if they bring this out, if Comscore starts policing content essentially and deeming anything controversial to be oh, not safe. It's not safe, so you can't you shouldn't advertise there. Well, that's gonna be a problem. I mean, look, Downey, for example, they're not gonna want their ads going on a video about the situations going on in Syria. It's a very heavy topic. Or how about a video showing police brutality? They're not gonna want their ads on those channels. Or maybe they don't want an ad on. Maybe they agree with Trump. Maybe there's a business that agrees with Donald Trump, and they don't want to be on a channel that is critical of Donald Trump. See, this is why everybody in news and politics is kind of freaking out over this whole thing. That's the problem. And of course, that's why everybody is running towards different avenues of funding. One of them being Patreon. We're also on that as well. So for those of us that are trying to make careers, we're facing some issues. Because as far as we know, these ads might not ever come back. They might come back for other channels as these advertisers go back in. But considering what they're doing and what they're looking at doing for policing content, there's a chance that news and politics may never get remonetized by these channels. And that's a bit of an issue. So, I mean, you've got third parties third parties now screening content and then suggesting, hey, you should demonetize these channels. That's not good. And again, a lot of us, you know, news and politics, especially on the progressive side, well, we don't take corporate money. We don't have corporate brands. We don't have sponsorship deals. Why? Because we're very critical of most corporations, the very ones who do these sponsorship deals. So it's a huge problem. I mean, a lot of YouTubers do make sponsorship deals, but those are people, again, that are not doing news and politics content. And I wouldn't want to either, because I wouldn't want advertisers to tell me what I can and can't cover, what I can and cannot say. So what these tools, if I understand correctly what's going on, they're completely out to destroy the ability for people to make careers based on telling you facts and then having an opinion on those facts. And they don't want you to have controversial opinions. They don't want you to cover controversial topics. That's why this is such a dangerous situation. That's why this is not good. So, again, I'm not 100% sure that this is exactly what it's going to entail, but we've got to wait and see how this whole thing shakes out. See what's coming down the pipe. But me and other creators, people in the news and politics business, we're not optimistic. And we're being completely 100% honest with you. Maybe it'll change. Maybe something will be different. But for right now, we're seeing disaster. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.